Hello everyone, my name is Mohamad Bayat, ESR number 4, and the topic of my presentation is multi-scale multi-physics simulation of thermo-fluid-metallurgical-mechanical conditions during metal additive manufacturing. I did my PhD at the Technical University of Denmark, DTU, and under the supervision of Professor Jesper Henry Hattel at the Department of Mechanical Engineering. The two main objectives of my PhD was first to develop a multi-physics model of metal additive manufacturing process, simply called PAM, and then later to implement this model to study the impact of input process parameters on the thermofluid metallurgical mechanical conditions during PAM. In my PhD, I primarily focus on the laser powder bed fusion process, and to a lesser extent, and especially at the end of my PhD, I also focus on the directed energy deposition process. Now let's go back to the MAM simulations. MAM is not only a multi-physics process, but also it's a multi-scale process, which means that we will need different coupling strategies to model the different physical phenomena that occur during the process. For example, according to the figure on the right side, we can have a thermal model or a pure mechanical model, or we can also have a combination of these two, a thermomechanical model. You can also see the two domain sizes where we can have a mesoscale model and also a part scale model, depending on the purpose of the model. So during my PhD, I divided my research into 3 investigation tracks, where you can see here, where in the first investigation track, I mostly focus on mesoscale simulations of the ET and LPBF. In the second investigation track, I studied the Marangoni effect in LPBF. And in the final investigation track, I did the part-scale modeling of distortions in LPBF. And for example, in one of the studies belonging to the first investigation track, I developed a FEM-based thermo-fluid model of the LPBF process of titanium-6, aluminum-4 vanadium, where I developed a conical Gaussian volumetric heat source for modeling the laser material interaction. And then finally, I studied the impact of beam size and also the scanning speed on the melt pool morphology, cooling rate, and the dendritic growth directions. In two other research from the first investigation track, I developed multi-physics simulations of the LPBF process, where I managed to predict the formation and evolution of lack of fusion and keyhole porosity during the process. Then I compared the predictions of the model with the experimental data that I got from our partners from the PAM² project. And in the final part of the first investigation track, I developed a multi-physics simulation of the DED process of managing steel, where I compared my numerical predictions with ex situ and also in situ measurements using a thermal camera. We also found that by using higher carrier flow speeds, we will have a weaker bonding between the track and also the base plate. In the second investigation track, as I noted earlier, I studied the impact of thermocapillarity or the Marangoni effect on the melt pool conditions. We found that by using higher Marangoni numbers, we will have a lower melt pool temperatures. That in turn will reduce the significance of conduction inside the melt pool as we destroy the temperature gradients during the process. This work is currently under review in the International Journal of Heat and Mass Transfer and hopefully will be soon published. And in the final investigation track, I developed a part-scale and FEM-based thermomechanical model for the prediction of distortions in LPBF, where I used the sequential flash heating technique, and we found that if we use sufficiently fine stripe size in the sequential flash heating technique, we can have a very good agreement between the numerical predictions of distortions and the distortions found by experimental methods. And at the end, I have to say that currently we have ongoing collaborations with 5 ESRs on different aspects of the LPBF process, from reduced order thermal modeling to part-scale modeling of heat treatment and also modeling of the rust formation and hot spatter during LPBF. Thank you very much.